Humans only use 10% of their brains. It's a fascinating idea, isn't it? Imagine the possibilities if we could unlock that other 90%. This notion has fueled countless science fiction stories, self-help books, and even Hollywood blockbusters. But is there any truth to it? The answer, my friends, is a resounding no. The idea that we only use a fraction of our brain power is a pervasive myth, a misconception that has stubbornly persisted despite decades of scientific evidence to the contrary. The human brain is an extraordinary organ, a testament to the power of evolution. It is the command center of our bodies, responsible for everything from our thoughts and emotions to our movements and bodily functions. It's a 24/7 operation, constantly firing neurons and sending signals throughout our bodies. To think that such a complex and vital organ would operate at only 10% capacity is simply illogical. So, where did this myth originate? Its roots are murky, but it seems to have sprouted from a confluence of misinterpretations and wishful thinking. Some attribute it to the work of early psychologists who, while studying the brain, observed that only certain regions seemed to be active during specific tasks. This led to the erroneous assumption that the inactive areas were dormant and unused. The media, always eager for a sensational story, latched onto this idea and ran with it. Self-proclaimed gurus and motivational speakers further perpetuated the myth, promising to unlock the hidden potential of our untapped brain power. However, these claims crumble under the weight of scientific scrutiny. The truth is that we use all of our brains. Every part of this amazing organ has a purpose, even if we don't fully understand all of them yet. Modern neuroscience has unequivocally debunked the 10% brain myth. Brain imaging techniques such as fMRI and PET scans allow us to observe the brain in action. These scans reveal that virtually every region of the brain shows some level of activity, even when we are at rest. Consider this. The brain, while only making up about 2% of our body weight, consumes a whopping 20% of our daily energy. Why would our bodies dedicate such a significant portion of our energy resources to an organ that is only functioning at 10%? It simply doesn't make evolutionary sense. Furthermore, damage to even small areas of the brain can have profound consequences on our abilities and behavior. If 90% of our brains were truly unused, then strokes and injuries should have minimal impact, as there would be plenty of backup brain power available. Clearly, this is not the case. Section 4, Einstein's genius, beyond the myths. The 10% brain myth is often associated with Albert Einstein, one of the most brilliant minds in human history. The story goes that Einstein himself attributed his extraordinary intellect to unlocking more of his brain than the average person. However, there is no evidence to support this claim. Einstein never made such a statement, and the myth likely arose after his death when scientists began studying his brain. While it's true that Einstein's brain did possess some unique features, such as a higher-than-average ratio of glial cells, which support and nourish neurons, these differences don't prove that he used more of his brain. Rather, they suggest that his brain was wired differently, perhaps allowing for enhanced communication between certain regions. Section 5, Lucy and the Limits of Imagination. The 10% brain myth has also found fertile ground in Hollywood, with movies like Lucy depicting protagonists who gain superhuman abilities by tapping into their supposedly dormant brain power. While entertaining, these films take significant liberties with scientific accuracy. In reality, there is no magical threshold that, once crossed, unlocks superhuman abilities. Our brains are constantly adapting and rewiring themselves throughout our lives, forming new connections and strengthening existing ones based on our experiences and learning. This neuroplasticity allows us to learn new skills, adapt to new environments, and recover from brain injuries. However, it doesn't mean that we have a vast reservoir of untapped potential just waiting to be unleashed. Section 6. The Brain Symphony, a chorus of activity. The truth is far more nuanced and, dare I say, more fascinating than the simplistic notion of a 10% brain. While we do use all of our brains, we don't use all of it at once. Different regions of the brain are specialized for different functions. When you're reading this essay, for example, the language centers in your brain are highly active, while the areas responsible for motor control might be relatively quiet. Conversely, when you're playing a sport or dancing, your motor cortex is working overtime while your language centers take a backseat. Think of it like an orchestra. All the musicians are present, but they don't all play at the same time. The conductor, in this case, our thoughts and intentions, brings in different sections at different times to create a harmonious symphony of activity. Every part of the brain plays a crucial role in this intricate dance. Section 7. The future of our mind's untapped potential. While the 10% brain myth has been debunked, the human brain remains a source of endless fascination and mystery. We are only beginning to scratch the surface of understanding its full capabilities. However, we do know that there are ways to enhance our cognitive function and keep our brains healthy and sharp throughout our lives. Engaging in mentally stimulating activities such as reading, puzzles, and learning new skills can strengthen neural connections and improve cognitive reserve. A healthy lifestyle, including regular exercise, a balanced diet, and adequate sleep, is also crucial for optimal brain health. By taking care of our brains, we can unlock their true potential, not by tapping into some mythical unused portion, but by nurturing and challenging the extraordinary organ that is already working tirelessly for us every single day. The future of our minds is bright, filled with the promise of discovery and the potential to achieve great things. Let's embrace the reality of our 100% brains and explore the vast universe within.